Interesting facts about King Solomon, a legacy of wisdom and prosperity. King Solomon is one of the most fascinating figures in history, known for his great wisdom and wealth. He was the third king of Israel, and his reign is considered a golden age in Jewish history. In this article, we will explore some fascinating facts about King Solomon, his accomplishments, his personal life, and his legacy. Wisdom and judgment. According to the Bible, when Solomon became king after the death of his father, King David, God appeared to him in a dream and offered him anything he desired. Instead of asking for wealth, power, or long life, Solomon humbly requested wisdom to govern and judge his people wisely. Impressed by his request, God granted him not only wisdom, but also riches and honor. Perhaps the most well-known story showcasing Solomon's wisdom is the Judgment of Solomon. Two women came to Solomon with a baby, each claiming to be the child's mother. Unable to determine the true mother based on their claims alone, Solomon devised a clever test. He suggested cutting the baby in two and giving each woman half. One of the women immediately agreed to this proposal, while the other pleaded with Solomon to spare the child's life and give him to the other woman. Solomon recognized that the true mother's love for her child was greater than her desire to possess him and awarded her custody of the baby. Solomon is traditionally attributed as the author of several biblical books, including the Book of Proverbs and the Book of Ecclesiastes. Proverbs is a collection of wise sayings and principles for living a righteous and wise life, while Ecclesiastes explores existential and philosophical questions. The Temple in Jerusalem. King Solomon is credited with the construction of the first temple in Jerusalem, also known as Solomon's Temple. This magnificent structure was considered one of the most important religious buildings in the ancient world and was the center of Jewish worship for many centuries. The story of its construction is primarily found in the Hebrew Bible, specifically in the books of 1 Kings and 2 Chronicles. Here's a brief overview of how King Solomon built the temple. Solomon gathered cedar and cypress wood from Lebanon, and he received gold, silver, and other precious materials from neighboring kingdoms through trade agreements and tribute. According to the biblical account, construction began in the 4th year of Solomon's reign, around 966 BCE. Solomon employed a large labor force, including skilled workers and laborers, to carry out the construction. It's estimated that the construction took about 7 years to complete. The temple was designed as a rectangular building with 3 main parts. 1. The Holy of Holies was a small inner chamber at the western end of the temple. It housed the Ark of the Covenant, a sacred chest containing the tablets of the 10 Commandments. 2. The holy place was a larger chamber in front of the Holy of Holies, where various sacred items and utensils were kept. 3. The outer court was the open courtyard in front of the temple, where various rituals and ceremonies took place. After the temple was completed, Solomon held a grand dedication ceremony which involved the Ark of the Covenant being brought into the Holy of Holies, the offering of numerous sacrifices, and Solomon's prayer of dedication. The temple became the central religious and spiritual symbol for the Israelites. It also served as the dwelling place of God and a center for religious worship. Unfortunately, it was later destroyed by the Babylonians in 586 BCE, and the Ark of the Covenant was lost to history. Trade and prosperity. During Solomon's reign, the Kingdom of Israel experienced a period of great prosperity and economic growth. He established trade alliances through marriage with neighboring kingdoms, such as Phoenicia and Egypt, which brought wealth to his kingdom. 1 Kings 3:1. His kingdom was strategically located along trade routes connecting Africa, Asia, and Europe. This geographical advantage allowed for the exchange of goods and commodities, including precious metals, spices, and exotic animals. The Bible mentions that Solomon imported a variety of goods, including gold, silver, ivory, apes, and peacocks, indicating his involvement in international trade. 1 Kings 10:22. The wealth of his kingdom. According to the biblical account of the wealth and splendor of his court, his palace was built using the finest materials, including cedar wood from Lebanon, gold, and precious stones. While the exact design details are not provided in the biblical texts, it is generally believed to have been a grand and luxurious complex with multiple buildings, courtyards, gardens, and pools. Also, the Bible doesn't provide specific dimensions, but it is described as a magnificent and spacious structure, befitting a king of Solomon's stature. The throne was described as being ornate and beautifully crafted. The ivory and gold, along with the gemstones, would have made it a symbol of Solomon's wealth and power. One distinctive feature of Solomon's throne mentioned in the Bible is the presence of lions on either side. The Queen of Sheba. According to biblical and Ethiopian tradition, the Queen of Sheba, often identified as the Ethiopian Queen Makeda, visited King Solomon to test his wisdom and to witness his great wealth and wisdom for herself. This story is primarily found in the first book of Kings. The Queen of Sheba, who ruled a wealthy and prosperous Ethiopian kingdom, heard about the wisdom and fame of King Solomon. Intrigued by these reports, she decided to make a long and arduous journey to visit Solomon in Jerusalem. She brought with her a caravan of valuable gifts. Upon her arrival in Jerusalem, she engaged in a series of conversations and inquiries with Solomon, posing challenging questions to test his wisdom and intellect. Solomon's answers impressed her greatly, as he demonstrated not only wisdom, but also knowledge in various subjects, including natural history and the ways of God. As a token of her admiration and respect, the queen presented Solomon with valuable gifts from her own kingdom, including a large quantity of gold, precious stones, and rare spices. In return, Solomon gave her gifts and provided her with everything she desired during her stay in Jerusalem. Contributions to literature. Solomon is traditionally attributed to several biblical books, including Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, and the Song of Solomon. These writings contain valuable insights into wisdom, philosophy, and love. The literature attributed to him are as follows. 1. The book of Proverbs in the Bible is a collection of wise sayings and practical advice for living a righteous and wise life. These proverbs cover a wide range of topics, including ethics, morality, wisdom, and the importance of fearing God. The book remains a valuable source of wisdom and moral guidance. 2. Ecclesiastes is another book in the Bible traditionally ascribed to Solomon. It is a philosophical work that explores the meaning of life, the nature of human existence, and the futility of worldly pursuits. The famous opening verse, "Vanity of vanities," says the preacher, "Vanity of vanities, all is vanity," sets the tone for the book's reflective and contemplative nature. 3. Song of Solomon or Song of Songs is a collection of lyrical poetry attributed to Solomon. It celebrates human love and desire in a passionate and metaphorical manner. 4. While not directly attributed to Solomon, the broader category of wisdom literature in the Bible, which includes books like Job and Psalms, reflects the themes and ideas associated with Solomon's wisdom and influence. These texts explore questions of human suffering, divine justice, and the relationship between God and humanity. It's important to note that the authorship of these biblical texts is a subject of scholarly debate, and some modern scholars believe that multiple authors may have contributed to these works over time. Nevertheless, the association of King Solomon with these texts underscores their significance in the literary and religious traditions of the Judeo-Christian heritage. Rivalries and divisions. Despite his many achievements, Solomon's reign was not without its challenges. He faced opposition from within his kingdom, and his policies led to discontent among the people. King Solomon's rise to power was not without conflict. After the death of his father, King David, Solomon's elder brother, Adonijah, attempted to claim the throne. However, David had previously promised Bathsheba that her son Solomon would be his successor. With the support of the prophet Nathan and the priest Zadok, Solomon was anointed as king. He sought to consolidate his power and strengthen his position as king by eliminating potential threats and rivals, including Adonijah and Joab, who had supported Adonijah's claim to the throne. Solomon also married into influential foreign royal families to secure alliances. Also, his ambitious building projects, while impressive, came at a great cost, both in terms of resources and labor, which led to discontent among the people. Also, to fund his building projects and luxurious lifestyle, Solomon imposed heavy taxes on the people of Israel. The northern tribes of Israel, particularly Ephraim and Manasseh, bore the brunt of Solomon's taxation and labor demands. Moreover, Jeroboam, a capable and influential administrator, was one of Solomon's officials. However, he rebelled against Solomon's rule due to his dissatisfaction with the heavy-handed policies. Solomon sought to have Jeroboam killed, but Jeroboam fled to Egypt and eventually returned to lead the rebellion against Solomon's successor. After Solomon's death, his son Rehoboam ascended to the throne. When Rehoboam refused to ease the tax and labor burdens on the people, the northern tribes, led by Jeroboam, rebelled against his rule. This rebellion led to the division of the United Kingdom into the northern kingdom of Israel and the southern kingdom of Judah. King Solomon's life and reign continue to captivate people to this day. His wisdom, wealth, and building projects are a testament to his leadership and vision. His story has inspired countless works of literature and art, and his legacy continues to influence the world. Through these facts, we have gained a deeper understanding of this legendary figure and his enduring impact on history.